Last week, I walked into my favorite coffee shop, all ready to grab my usual caffeine fix. The barista looks at me and says, "Would you like the $6 coffee or the $3 coffee today?" Now, being the savvy coffee lover I am, I was all set to go for the $3 option, right? But then I glance at the menu and, hold up, there's a third choice, a $7 coffee. Suddenly, the $6 coffee looks like I'm practically getting it for free. I'm thinking, wow, what a deal. And the $3 coffee? That one might as well be a cheap imitation of coffee. Here's the kicker, I didn't even realize I'd just been tricked into feeling like I was getting a steal. It was a sneaky little example of neuromarketing, the art of using brain science to influence how we make buying decisions. It's one of the smartest tricks businesses use to get us to spend money, without us even realizing it. So, if you're an entrepreneur, or just a coffee lover like me, stick around, because we're about to learn 7 powerful neuromarketing concepts that'll make customers feel like they're getting the deal of the century. Let's jump right in and break them down. The framing effect. The framing effect is basically how the words you use to describe something can totally change how people perceive it. It's like the ultimate marketing hack, the power of persuasion through phrasing. But here's the thing, you may not even realize it's happening until you've already been persuaded. Let's take McDonald's fries, for example. They have 2 ways of framing the same thing. Option A, these fries are 1% fat. Option B, these fries are 99% fat-free. Now let me ask you, which one are you more likely to choose? Yeah, I know, you're probably leaning toward option B because it sounds like you're eating a super healthy snack. 99% fat-free? Wow, that's basically a salad. But hold up, it's the same fries. Same fat content, same calories, same greasy goodness. Therefore, it's not the fries that have changed, it's the way they're framed that's making you think one is healthier than the other. This is the framing effect in action. When you present the same thing in a different light, it can make all the difference in how people see it. The IKEA Effect. The IKEA Effect is when you value something more because you made it yourself. I saw this in action with a guy selling pet fish right next to my high school. Every day we'd pass by his little shop and we all knew what he was selling, tiny fish in tanks ready to be taken home. But here's the thing, he wasn't just selling fish, no, he was selling something a little more special. Instead of just handing over a fish and saying, "Here, enjoy," this guy had a unique twist. He let us name the fish. So picture this, you walk into his shop and he's got all these little fish swimming around in tanks. You point to one and say, "I'll take that one." Then instead of just putting it in a bag and sending you off, he asked, "What will you name it?" Now, I don't know about you, but when I name something, it suddenly feels like it's mine. You could be holding the same fish as anyone else, but because you gave it a name, say Flippy, it feels way more special. Suddenly, you're attached. It's not just a fish anymore, it's your fish. This, my friends, is the IKEA effect at work. The guy didn't just sell you a fish, he gave you a chance to be part of the process. You named it, you made the decision, and now it feels like you created it, even though it's just a fish. Power of free. Everyone loves free stuff. I mean, everyone. You can't resist it, right? It's like when you see the word free in big letters, your brain just goes into overdrive. You feel like you're getting an amazing deal, even if it's something you don't need. Let me tell you about something that happened to my friend. He's the kind of guy who always prides himself on being smart with money, right? So he's scrolling through his phone one day, just casually checking out Instagram, when an ad pops up. The ad says, "Get a free gift with your first purchase." Now, my friend's not really into skincare or anything, but that free gift got him curious. He taps the ad and, naturally, he starts looking at the products. They're selling a bunch of skincare stuff, and there's a little text at the bottom that says, "Spend $30 and get a free gift." At first he's like, okay, cool, maybe I'll get a small gift for my girlfriend or something. They show him the best-selling premium products. Of course, now he's eyeing a $40 bottle of face cream. Fast forward a few minutes and guess what? He ends up spending $45 because in the end, he bought more than he planned. But he's thinking, hey, at least I get that free gift, right? He checks out and gets his items, and of course, the free gift is a tiny sample of lotion worth like $3. And that's the power of free. The Affordability Illusion. It's that clever little trick where a big price gets broken down into smaller chunks to make it seem way more affordable than it really is. And let me tell you, I fell for it big time. So I was on the hunt for a new gym membership. I had decided it was finally time to get back in shape. I didn't want to spend too much, but I needed something that would work for my schedule and fitness goals. I came across two options. Option 1, a gym membership for $350 a year. Option 2, a gym membership that cost less than $1 a day. Now, being the careful spender I am, when I saw the $350 option, I thought, ugh, that's a lot for a whole year. But then I saw the second option, less than $1 a day. And suddenly I thought, wow, that's practically nothing. I can totally afford that. It just sounded so much more affordable. Less than $1 a day made me feel like I was getting an absolute steal, like I was getting a gym membership for pocket change. So guess what? I signed up for the less than $1 a day option, feeling super smart for getting such a great deal. But here's the kicker. It was exactly the same price as the $350 membership. The only difference was how they framed it. When I saw the price broken down to less than $1 a day, it didn't feel like a big amount at all. But when I saw it as $350 for the whole year, it felt like a lot more. This is the affordability illusion in action. The contrast effect. Have you ever walked into a store, saw something you thought was overpriced, and then suddenly it didn't seem so bad after you saw something even more expensive? That's the contrast effect at work. It's all about how our brains compare things in a way that makes something seem like a better deal simply because it's next to something more expensive. Here's an example from my own experience. A couple of years ago, I went shopping for a new TV. I wasn't looking to break the bank, I just needed a decent-sized TV for my living room. So, I walk into this electronics store and find a TV that I really like. It's a 50-inch 4K smart TV. Looks great, good price at $600. But then, right next to it, I see this monster of a TV. A 75-inch 4K smart TV. It's huge, it's practically taking up half the wall. And the price? $2,500. I stand there for a second, and my brain starts doing the math. The big TV is way out of my budget, but as I glance back at the 50-inch TV, something happens. The $600 TV suddenly feels like a bargain. Look at the size difference! For just $600, this one looks like such a good deal compared to that $2,500 one. Now here's the twist. I wasn't really comparing the $600 TV to the other $600 TVs, it's the contrast effect. The $600 TV didn't look so bad after seeing the $2,500 one. My brain was tricked into thinking it was a great deal just because I had something way more expensive to compare it to. The Reciprocity Principle. Have you ever gotten a free sample at a store or an unsolicited gift and suddenly felt compelled to buy something? That's reciprocity in action. Here's a real-life example. One time, I walked into a high-end perfume shop just to browse. The saleswoman offered me a free sample of a new scent, which I gladly accepted. Later, I found myself purchasing a bottle of perfume even though I didn't plan to buy anything. Why? Because once someone does something nice for us, we feel this unspoken obligation to return the favor. It's a psychological principle that brands use to their advantage. When businesses give you something free, a sample, a gift, or even valuable information, it triggers the reciprocity principle. Endowment effect. People value things more once they own them. Being an online entrepreneur myself, I remember when I first started out on Shopify. I signed up for the free trial, like most people do, right? Free trials are always the best way to dip your toes into something new without committing just yet. I was all excited, setting up my store, picking out products, and customizing everything to fit my brand. My store started looking pretty awesome, and I felt this growing sense of ownership over it. As the free trial was about to expire, I realized I had this weird attachment to it. I thought, I've put so much time and effort into this, and it feels like mine now. I'm not just gonna let it go. Even though the subscription fee was the same as when I first started, suddenly it didn't seem so scary. In fact, the thought of walking away from my store felt worse than paying for it. It was like I couldn't let go of something I had put so much work into. And this, my friends, is a perfect example of the endowment effect. So, those were the 7 neuromarketing concepts. I'd love to hear which of these neuromarketing hacks you've experienced firsthand. Drop a comment below. If you found this video helpful and interesting, be sure to subscribe for more content just like this.